The massive crystal dome of the Galactic Council chamber sparkled under three suns. Inside, alien representatives from 100 worlds argued about one topic: humans. They are barely more than primitives. Senior Counselor Zixtel's voice boomed across the chamber. His gray scales reflected purple light as he waved a data tablet showing Earth's current technology level. They have only reached their moon and sent a few basic robots to nearby planets. Commander Lisa Barrett stood quietly at the back of the chamber, watching the debate. As humanity's chosen representative, she knew how wrong they were. Her simple blue uniform stood out among the elaborate alien clothing, but she kept her face calm. 6 months ago, humans had discovered faster-than-light travel. 2 months ago, they had found the first signs of alien life. Now she was here to introduce Earth to the galaxy. "We should welcome them," said a small bird-like alien named Tekra. "Their progress in the last 100 years is remarkable. Their progress is dangerous." Zixtal slammed his fist on the podium. "They went from horse-drawn carriages to nuclear weapons in less than 2 centuries. Who knows what they might develop next?" Meanwhile, across the galaxy, Captain Daniel Wright of the UES Constellation was making a discovery that would change everything. His ship, hidden behind Saturn's rings, picked up strange energy readings. "Sir, you need to see this," said his sensor officer. "We found old observation posts, alien observation posts. They'd been watching Earth for at least 300 years. Daniel's jaw tightened as he studied the data. The posts were well hidden, built into asteroids and small moons. Some were still active. "Send this to command right away," he ordered. "And start checking every moon and asteroid in the solar system." Back in the council chamber, Lisa watched as another alien, Counselor Rethmar, stepped up to speak. His metal-plated body clinked as he moved. "We must contain them now," Rethmar said. "Their technology is advancing too quickly. They show no respect for proper development timelines. Look at their entertainment. They already imagine traveling between stars and meeting aliens. They dream too big, too fast." Lisa had to bite her tongue. The council didn't know that humans had already built their first jump drive. They didn't know about the 5 colony ships waiting in secret bases on Mars. They didn't know anything about humanity's real progress. On Earth, the situation was tense. Admiral Claire Peterson sat in a hidden bunker under the Rocky Mountains, reading Captain Wright's report about the alien observation posts. "They've been watching us all along," she told her staff. "Through World War II, through the Cold War, through everything. And they never once helped us." "Maybe that's why they're scared," said her aide. "We survived and grew stronger through all of that on our own." The council meeting was getting worse. More species were calling for Earth to be contained, to be stopped from developing further. They talked about putting up blockades, about destroying human satellites, about keeping Earth isolated, for its own good. Only a few voices spoke up for humanity. Most were from younger species who had more recently joined the council. "You fear them because they are different," said Ambassador Kryn of the Arcanian people. "They solve problems in ways we never considered. Is that not valuable?" But the old powers of the council weren't listening. They were already making plans. In orbit around Neptune, Captain Wright's ship detected new signals. "Multiple ships coming out of faster-than-light travel," his officer reported. "Big ones. Council warships." "How many?" Daniel asked. 7. "No, 12. They're spreading out through the solar system." Daniel knew what this meant. The council had already decided Earth's fate, no matter what they were telling Commander Barrett. Lisa was starting to realize the same thing. She noticed how the guards in the council chamber had doubled, how some species representatives were quietly leaving. Something was wrong. She pressed the small button on her collar, sending a prearranged signal to Earth. One word: storm. In response, hidden defense satellites around Earth powered up. Colony ships began warming their engines, and in bases around the solar system, ships that the council didn't know existed prepared for the worst. "We have made our decision," Zixtal announced. For the safety of the galaxy, Earth will be contained. Their development will be limited. Their space program will be shut down. This is not negotiable. Lisa stepped forward. The people of Earth reject your decision, she said clearly. We have the right to grow, to explore, to develop in our own way. You have no power here, Rethmar laughed. What can one primitive world do against the entire council? At that moment, alarms began blaring through the council station. A guard rushed in. Multiple ships just appeared in the system. He shouted, They're human ships. Lisa smiled for the first time that day. We're not as primitive as you think, she said. And we're not alone. Through the crystal dome, they could see ships appearing. Hundreds of them. Human ships, yes, but also ships from other species, the Arcanians, the Teldar, and more who had secretly allied with Earth. Impossible. Zixtal's scales had turned pale. They can't have this technology. They can't have these allies. You watched us for 300 years, Lisa said, but you never really understood us. Humans don't follow normal development patterns. We don't wait for permission to grow. And we're very, very good at making friends. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Some representatives were demanding war. Others were calling for immediate negotiations. A few were trying to switch sides. But it was too late for easy solutions. The council had pushed too hard, had tried to cage a species that refused to be caged. Now they would learn why humans had survived every disaster their world had thrown at them. The first contact war was about to begin, and humanity was ready. In the hidden Earth bunker, Admiral Peterson watched the signals coming in from across space. Send the message to all ships, she ordered. Operation Freedom is go. Across the solar system, human ships appeared from their hiding places. They had trained for this, prepared for this. They knew the Council wouldn't accept them as equals. Now they would prove they didn't need the Council's acceptance. The galaxy was about to learn a hard lesson: never underestimate humans. The Council's first strike came at night. Their operative, Kralvex, moved like a shadow through Lunar Base Alpha. His mission was simple: disable Earth's defense grid before the main attack could begin. What he didn't expect was Lieutenant Amanda Cole's insomnia. Amanda was in the base's kitchen, making her third cup of coffee, when she noticed something odd on the security screens. A shadow where there shouldn't be one. She put down her cup and picked up her tablet, checking the base's air pressure readings. That's impossible, she whispered. One corridor was showing micro changes in air pressure, as if something was moving through it. Something invisible. She pressed the silent alarm and grabbed the emergency weapon from under the counter. The Council didn't know that humans had already developed ways to detect their stealth technology. They didn't know a lot of things about humans. Kralvex reached the main control room, his cloaking device humming softly. He pulled out his tools and reached for the main computer. A voice behind him said, "I wouldn't do that." He spun around. A human female was pointing a weapon at him. Impossible. He was invisible. Your cloaking tech creates small air pressure changes, Amanda explained, as if reading his mind. We figured that out months ago. Hands up, please. In space, Admiral Peter Morrison was trying to prevent disaster. His ship, hidden in the dark side of Mars, was sending encrypted messages to the moderate council members. We don't want war, he wrote, but we won't surrender our right to grow, to explore, to develop. Work with us, not against us. Some council members were listening. Others weren't. General Vaxthor, commander of the council's first fleet, certainly wasn't interested in peace. Begin the attack, he ordered his ships. Show these primitives their proper place. The council fleet appeared near Earth's moon, expecting to find a helpless planet with primitive defenses. Instead, they found humanity's first line of defense waiting for them. Enemy ships have crossed the red line, reported Captain Steve Rogers from the defense platform. All units, you are clear to engage. The council ships fired first, their energy weapons lighting up space. They expected their advanced shields to protect them easily from whatever primitive weapons the humans had. They were wrong. Human ships appeared from behind asteroids and hidden bases. Their weapons weren't the simple missiles or lasers the Council expected. Instead, strange energy beams cut through Council shields like they weren't even there. Impossible, Vaxthor shouted as his ship's shields failed. Their technology is barely at level 3. They can't have shield-piercing weapons. But they did. For years, humans had been preparing for this moment. They had developed technologies in ways the Council never imagined. While the Council focused on making stronger shields, humans had figured out how to bypass them completely. On Earth, in the hidden Rocky Mountain Command Center, Admiral Claire Peterson watched the battle unfold. "Send in the second wave," she ordered. "Let's show them what else we can do." More human ships appeared, using attack patterns the Council had never seen before. Instead of fighting in organized lines like Council ships, human vessels moved unpredictably. They fought like guerrilla warriors in space, striking from unexpected angles, using asteroids and space debris as cover. "Pull back," Vaxthor ordered as his fleet crumbled. "Pull back and regroup." But retreat wasn't easy. Human ships had somehow blocked their faster-than-light drives. The Council fleet was trapped. In the Council chamber, the news of the battle caused chaos. "How is this possible?" Zixtal demanded. "Their technology should be centuries behind ours." Ambassador Kryn of the Arcanians stood up. "You forgot something important about humans," he said. "They don't think like you do. They don't develop technology in the same orderly steps you follow. They skip steps. They find shortcuts. They think sideways." Back at the battle, a Council ship managed to break through the human lines. It headed straight for the moon base, weapons charging. Lieutenant Amanda Cole, who was still dealing with her captured infiltrator, saw the ship approaching on her screens. She smiled and pressed a button. Hidden panels on the moon's surface slid open. Defense turrets rose up, their designs unlike anything the Council had seen before. They fired, and the Council ship's shields vanished. A second shot disabled its engines. "How?" Kralvex asked from where he sat handcuffed. "How do you have technology like this?" "Because you underestimated us," Amanda told him. "You watched us for centuries but never understood us. Humans are really good at figuring things out when we need to." The battle was over in less than an hour. The mighty Council fleet was in ruins. Some ships were disabled, some had surrendered, and only a few had managed to escape. Admiral Morrison sent another message to the Council moderates. "This was just our defense fleet. Our older ships using older technology. Do you really want to see what our newest ships can do?" In the Council chamber, the balance of power was shifting. Species that had been quiet before were speaking up now. Many were impressed by humanity's capabilities. Some were scared. A few were already trying to establish diplomatic relations with Earth. "Perhaps," said Tekra, the bird-like alien who had supported humanity earlier, "we should reconsider our position. The humans have proven they deserve a seat at this table." But the old guard wasn't ready to give up. Rethmar, his metal body reflecting the chamber's lights, stood up. "This changes nothing," he declared. "One battle does not win a war. We will gather our full fleet. We will show these upstarts their place." On her ship near Mars, Commander Lisa Barrett received the Council's declaration of full war. She sent a simple message back. "We tried to be peaceful. Remember that." The real war was about to begin. But humanity had more surprises waiting. The Council thought they had seen humanity's full strength. They hadn't even seen the beginning. In the Rocky Mountain Command Center, Admiral Peterson looked at the battle reports. "Send word to all our allies," she ordered. "It's time for Phase 2. Let's show the Council what happens when they push humanity into a corner." The spark of war had been lit. Now it would become a fire that would change the galaxy forever. Chief Engineer Susan Miller stood in her lab on Mars Base 1, looking at the weapon that was about to change the war. It didn't look like much, just a small silver box with a few blinking lights. but looks could be deceiving. Run the test again, she told her team. On the screen in front of them, the test beam from their device cut through 7 layers of Council shield technology like they weren't even there. They're still using the same shield designs they developed 500 years ago, Susan explained to the watching Admiral Peterson. They never thought to try anything new because their old shields always worked. That was their mistake. The Council was learning about human ingenuity the hard way. Their fleets kept losing battles they should have won easily. Their best technology kept failing against weapons that shouldn't have existed yet. In his private chambers on the Council station, Councillor Zixtal was getting very bad news. The humans have defeated 3 more of our fleets, his aide reported. They're using weapons we've never seen before. Fighting in ways we've never seen before. And worse, other species are starting to copy them. That was the Council's biggest fear. Humanity wasn't just winning battles, they were changing how everyone thought about warfare, about technology, about everything. Meanwhile, in a secret meeting room on Europa, Colonel Christopher Hayes was having a very interesting conversation with a Council scientist named Ixel. Everything they told us about humans was wrong, Ixel said, his 4 eyes blinking nervously. I've studied your species for 20 years. The Council's reports about humans being primitive. They're lies. Your species doesn't develop like others. You don't follow the normal rules. Chris nodded. We call it thinking outside the box, he said. When we hit a problem, we don't just try harder. We try different. Ixel pulled out a data crystal. The Council has been lying about many things. Here's proof. They've been holding back other species for centuries, keeping them weak, dependent, but they can't control humans the same way. The crystal contained Council secrets going back hundreds of years. Chris immediately sent the data to Earth Command through secure channels. This could change everything. On the front lines, a human fleet led by Captain Angela West was showing just how different human tactics could be. Scatter pattern Delta, she ordered her ships. The Council fleet watching them was confused as the human ships broke formation, spreading out in what looked like chaos. They're running away, the Council commander said confidently. Chase them down. But the humans weren't running. As soon as the Council ships moved to chase them, the scattered human ships turned and attacked from all directions at once. Their seemingly random movements had actually placed them in perfect position for an ambush. In less than 20 minutes, another Council fleet was destroyed. The Arcanian and Teldar species had seen enough. They officially broke away from the Council and joined Earth's alliance. Other species were thinking about doing the same. Humans understand freedom, the Arcanian ambassador told the Council. They understand progress. You're fighting them because you're afraid of change. We're joining them because we want to grow. Back in her lab on Mars, Susan Miller was working on her next invention. The Council thinks technology has to develop in certain steps, she told her team. First this, then that, always in the same order. But that's not how humans work. We skip steps. We try crazy ideas. Sometimes those crazy ideas work. Her new project proved her point. The Council said it was impossible to make a ship's hull both super strong and transparent. Susan and her team did it in 2 weeks, just by approaching the problem differently than anyone had before. On Earth, Admiral Peterson was meeting with representatives from 20 different alien species. Some were Council members thinking about switching sides. Others were species the Council had kept isolated, like they had tried to do with Earth. We don't want to rule the galaxy, she told them. We just want everyone to have the freedom to grow, to develop, to reach their full potential. The Council is afraid of change. We embrace it. More Council secrets were coming to light. Ixel wasn't the only one sharing information now. Other scientists, diplomats, and even some Council military officers were coming forward with proof of the Council's lies and manipulation. They've been keeping us weak, a Teldar scientist said during a public broadcast. They tell us certain technologies are impossible, but they're not. They tell us certain research is dangerous, but it's not. They'd been lying to us for centuries. Colonel Hayes was put in charge of sorting through all the new information. What he found made him angry. They've been watching Earth for 300 years, he told Admiral Peterson. They saw us go through world wars, plagues, natural disasters. They could have helped. Instead, they just watched, thinking all that suffering would keep us weak. They didn't realize it would make us stronger. The war was changing. It wasn't just about Earth anymore. It was about freedom for all species to develop in their own way, at their own pace. In her lab, Susan Miller finished her latest project. "Send this to all our allies," she told her assistant, handing over a data crystal. "It's the plans for our shield-piercing technology. Let everyone use it." The Council had always kept advanced technology for themselves. Humans shared it freely with their allies. It was just one more difference between the old way and the new. Captain Angela West's fleet was now twice as large as before, with ships from 6 different species fighting alongside the humans. They all used different technologies, different tactics. The Council fleets didn't know how to fight against such unpredictable enemies. "The Council thinks unity means everyone being the same," Angela told her mixed crew. "We know unity means working together while staying different. That's our strength." Admiral Peterson looked at the latest battle reports and smiled. The Council was losing on every front, military, diplomatic, even cultural. More and more species were choosing Earth's way of freedom over the Council's way of control. "Send word to all fleets," she ordered. "Phase 3 begins tomorrow. It's time to take the fight to the Council's home systems." The war was far from over, but its outcome was becoming clear. The old order was falling, and a new one was rising to take its place. A new order based on freedom, cooperation, and the crazy human idea that different could be better than same. The galaxy would never be the same again. Alexandria Station was the pride of the Council fleet. Hidden in the heart of Council space, it was their biggest shipyard and their most important military base. No enemy had ever found it, let alone attacked it. Major Catherine Young was about to change that. She stood on the bridge of her stealth ship, the Nighthawk, looking at the station through her view screen. "Status report," she whispered. 5 Council patrol ships in the outer sector. Her tactical officer replied quietly. "Inner defense grid is active. They don't know we're here." Catherine smiled. Getting to Alexandria Station had taken 3 months of careful planning. Her ship had followed Council supply vessels through their secret jump points, gathering data the whole way. "Begin Phase 1, she ordered. Outside the ship, tiny drones no bigger than basketballs detached from the Nighthawk's hull. They moved slowly toward the station, too small for its sensors to notice. Each drone carried a special package designed by Susan Miller's team on Mars. On Earth, Admiral Peterson watched the mission unfold through secure channels. "Major Young's team has reached the target," she told the assembled alien ambassadors. "Now we'll see what the Council is really hiding." The Council was having its own problems. Captain Eric Butler, commanding the joint human-alien fleet, had been winning battle after battle. But more importantly, he'd been winning hearts and minds. "Look at how the humans treat their allies," a Council ship captain told his crew before surrendering. "They share technology. They respect different ways of fighting. They listen to new ideas. When was the last time the Council did any of that?" More species were joining Earth's alliance every day. The Council's support was crumbling. Back at Alexandria Station, Catherine's drones had reached their positions. "Execute Phase 2, she ordered. The drones activated their special packages. They didn't attack the station. They did something much worse. They hacked it. Council computers had never faced human hackers before. They had no defense against Earth's different way of thinking about computer security. Within minutes, the station's databases were open. "Download everything," Catherine ordered. "Every file, every secret, every piece of data they've been hiding." What they found was shocking. The station's computers held proof of centuries of Council manipulation. They had been keeping other species weak on purpose, stopping them from developing too quickly. They had plans for controlling population growth, for limiting technological development, for keeping lesser species dependent on Council help. "Send this to every ship in Council space," Catherine ordered. "Let everyone see what they've been hiding." The Council realized what was happening too late. They sent ships to attack the Nighthawk, but Catherine's team had planned for that too. "Launch countermeasures," she ordered. The Nighthawk released clouds of special particles. Another gift from Susan Miller. The particles stuck to Council ships, disrupting their shield frequencies. "Their shields are down," Tactical reported, "and our allies are arriving." Now, a fleet of Earth Alliance ships jumped into the system, led by Captain Butler. The Council ships found themselves caught between the new arrivals and the Nighthawk's weapon systems. "Surrender or retreat," Butler broadcast to the Council ships. "Those are your only options." Most of them surrendered. The data from Alexandria Station spread quickly through Council space. Species that had been loyal to the Council for centuries were angry when they learned the truth. The Council had kept them weak, had held them back, had lied to them. "Look at what they did to Earth," Ambassador Kryn told the gathered representatives of 30 species. "They watched humans suffer through wars and disasters, thinking it would keep them weak. Instead, it made them strong, made them innovative, made them determined to never let anyone control them." In the Council chamber, things were falling apart. Councillor Zixtel tried to maintain order, but too many species were demanding answers. "You told us certain technologies were impossible," one representative shouted, "but humans developed them in months. You told us some research was too dangerous, but humans proved it was safe. You've been lying to us for generations." The Council's oldest and most powerful members were trying to destroy records, to hide evidence of their manipulation. But it was too late. Catherine's team had found everything. "Send in the next phase," Admiral Peterson ordered from Earth Command. "It's time to end this." Alliance ships began jumping into every major Council system. They didn't attack. They just appeared in formation, showing their strength, showing that the Council couldn't stop them. On the Nighthawk, Catherine watched as more Council ships arrived at Alexandria Station. But these weren't coming to attack. They were coming to surrender. "This is Captain Rell of the 3rd Fleet." A message came in. We request asylum. We can't serve the Council anymore. Not after learning what they've done." It wasn't just military ships. Civilian vessels were appearing too. Scientists, engineers, ordinary people from Council worlds, all wanting to join the alliance that promised freedom instead of control. Captain Butler's ship docked at Alexandria Station. As ranking human officer in the system, he accepted the station's surrender. The Council's greatest military base now belonged to the Alliance. "We found their emergency evacuation protocols," Catherine reported to Earth Command, "and their private escape routes. The Council leaders won't be able to run when we come for them." Admiral Peterson nodded. "Good work, Major. Now we know everything. Where their ships are, where their leaders hide, and most importantly, what they've been doing for the past 1,000 years. The war wasn't over yet. The Council still had powerful forces, but they had lost something more important than ships or stations. They had lost trust, lost legitimacy, lost the right to rule. "Prepare the final phase," Peterson ordered. "It's time to take this to their capital." On the Nighthawk, Catherine looked at the massive station her small ship had helped capture. "Send a message to all Alliance ships," she said. "The Alexandria Gambit worked. The Council's lies are exposed. Now we finish this." The next phase would be the hardest. The Council leaders wouldn't give up their power easily. But now everyone knew the truth about them, knew what they had done, what they had hidden. The galaxy was changing. The old powers were falling, and it had all started because they underestimated one simple truth: never try to cage a species that refuses to be caged. Dr. Linda Martinez stood in the ruins of an ancient alien library on a forgotten world. Her hands shook as she held up the dusty data crystal she had just found. "This is it," she told her research team. "This is the proof we've been looking for." The crystal contained records from the early days of the Council, thousands of years ago. It showed how the original Council members had deliberately stopped other species from growing too powerful. They had destroyed civilizations that developed too quickly, had erased records of species that found different paths to advance. "Send this to Commander Phillips right away," she ordered. "The fleet needs to know what we found before they attack the Council capital." In space near the Council homeworld, Commander Ryan Phillips received the data while preparing his ships for the final battle. The Council had gathered its remaining forces for one last stand. "They've been doing this for 10,000 years, he told his fleet commanders. "Stopping progress, destroying species that grew too fast, keeping everyone weak. Today we end it." The human-led Alliance fleet was massive. Ships from 40 different species flew together, each bringing their own special ways of fighting. The Council fleet facing them was larger, but they all fought the same way, used the same tactics, had the same weaknesses. On Earth, Ambassador Nicole Carter was getting ready for a different kind of battle. She would speak to the Galactic General Assembly, representatives from every known species in the galaxy. The Council tried to control how species develop. She practiced her speech. They thought there was only one right way to grow, to learn, to advance. Today we proved them wrong. The final battle began at dawn, measured by the Council capital's sun. "All ships, attack pattern Omega." Commander Phillips ordered. "Show them everything we've got." The Council fleet didn't know what to do. Each Alliance ship fought differently. Some used human shield-piercing weapons. Others used Arcanian stealth technology. Teldar ships phased through solid matter like it wasn't there. Every species brought their own surprises. "Impossible," the Council fleet commander shouted as his ship started falling. "These technologies can't exist together. The development patterns don't allow it." But they did exist, because humans had taught their allies something important. Rules were meant to be broken. In the General Assembly, Nicole Carter stood up to speak. On screens visible to every representative, she showed the proof Linda Martinez had found. "The Council didn't guide us," she said. "They didn't protect us. They held us back, kept us weak, destroyed any civilization that found a different way to grow." She showed records of destroyed worlds, of erased civilizations, of technologies suppressed and hidden away. "But they couldn't stop humanity," she continued. "We developed too quickly, fought too differently, found paths they didn't expect. And now we offer that freedom to everyone." The assembly erupted in shouts and arguments, but more and more voices were supporting Earth's alliance. In space, the battle was ending. The Council fleet was broken. Alliance ships surrounded the capital. "Surrender," Commander Phillips broadcast to the Council leaders. "Your fleet is defeated. Your secrets are exposed. It's over." In their crystal tower, the Council leaders faced a choice. Most chose surrender. A few tried to run, but the escape routes Catherine Young had discovered were already blocked. "How?" Councillor Zixtal asked as Alliance troops entered the Council chamber. "How did you advance so fast? How did you beat our technology?" "Because we don't think like you," Ryan told him. "Humans don't follow your rules. We find our own way. And now everyone else can too." The war ended not with a bang, but with a speech. In the General Assembly, Nicole Carter proposed a new way forward. "No more control," she said. "No more forcing species to develop the same way. No more hiding technology. No more stopping progress. Let each species find their own path." The Assembly voted. The old Council was disbanded. A new alliance would take its place, one based on sharing, not control, on freedom, not rules. Dr. Martinez kept finding more proof of the Council's crimes. Each discovery made their victory more important. "They thought different meant dangerous," she told Admiral Peterson. "They never understood that different meant stronger." All across the galaxy, species that had been held back for centuries began to grow, to develop, to try new things. The Council's old rules were gone. Humanity didn't just win a war, Ambassador Kryn said in the last assembly meeting. They freed the galaxy from chains we didn't even know we had. Some worried that freedom would lead to chaos, but it didn't. Instead, it led to amazing new discoveries. Species working together found solutions the Council had thought impossible. On Earth, Admiral Peterson looked at reports from across the galaxy. New technologies being shared, new alliances being formed, new ways of thinking spreading everywhere. The Council thought they could cage humanity, she told her staff. Instead, we showed the galaxy how to break free of all cages. Commander Phillips' fleet became peacekeepers, helping maintain order while the galaxy adjusted to its new freedom. But they didn't control, didn't enforce rules, just helped those who asked for help. In her lab on Mars, Susan Miller worked with scientists from 20 different species. Each brought their own ideas, their own ways of solving problems. The Council thought mixing different technologies would cause disasters, she said, but look what we can do when we work together. The galaxy was changing, growing, learning. Species that had been enemies under the Council became partners in discovery. And humanity, they didn't try to take the Council's place, didn't try to rule. They just showed everyone a simple truth. There is no single right way to grow, no single path to the stars. The Council War was over. The age of freedom had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again.